Hey everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Now, just to let you know, our PBS stations are going into pledge this week, so we do have a shortened show this week by about 5 or 6 minutes, and that gives the folks at PBS a chance to talk to you a little bit about why pledging around Michigan Out of Doors is so important. So we do have a shortened show, but we do have a brand new show on this week. We're going to do a little bit of rabbit hunting. We've got an ice fishing tournament that we're going to stop in at. We've got some natural resources news from our friends at MUCC. We also have a new ice fishing tournament that just happened here in the state of Michigan. We're going to stop in at the banquet, learn a little bit more about that. So there is a lot on this week's show, and make sure you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan Out of Doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Vanguard, a global manufacturer based in Michigan featuring rifle scopes, binoculars, and spotting scopes with lifetime warranties. Vanguard supplies sporting optics and accessories for the outdoor enthusiast online at vanguardworld.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
We all have one, that perfect spot, a special place we go to smooth out the ripples of the day. Our perfect spot is calling. Our perfect spot is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and for this week's show, I was down in the southern part of the state to do a little rabbit hunting with an outdoorsman whose main goal is to get more kids involved in the outdoors.
Today I'd be hitting the woods with good friend of the show, Jeff Hines. The plan was to do a little rabbit hunting and also shed some light on the importance of getting kids involved in the outdoors.
Well, we're out on the east side of Berry County, out here where we have had rabbits in the past. Haven't really hunted them lately, but last fall, talking to some of the young kids that we ran into and who have an interest in hunting, thought it might be nice to bring them out, see if we could actually do an old-fashioned rabbit hunt without dogs and try to kick some brush piles, maybe get some activity for the kids, pick a good day, and hope for the best. We just love it when we can get kids out here that would otherwise be maybe sitting in front of the TV or doing something maybe that wasn't the right thing, but these kids have great interest in hunting, so we're trying to help them pursue that. These kids were out this fall and did some deer hunting out here. We actually were excited because one of the twins got their first buck. I would happen to be with him. It was a great thrill for both of us. So we want to keep nurturing that love for hunting, and we got the twin boys and their sister, and we're going to take a look out here and see if we can kick some brush piles and get some rabbits. We've got a great day. It's probably in the low 30s, the sun's shining, and we're going to see what we can do. We got about 100 acres out here. We've seen a lot of sign. Hopefully that means a lot of rabbits.
Yeah, we're just starting to work this area on a beautiful day. Looked in the open areas, and this little bunny was sitting right out in the open, took off when he saw us, and got him just before he went down a hole. So we just barely got started, so this is a good sign. Couldn't have picked a better day, really. So we're going to take a look, make our way back through here, and see if we can get the kids one.
As the day went on, we continued to try to put the kids and the camera in the best position possible. But for whatever reason, these rabbits would not cooperate and seemed to have a knack for going exactly the wrong way.
Been out here probably an hour and a half or so. We got a couple rabbits, a lot of tracks, a lot of sign. We're going to stomp some brush piles here where it's a little thicker. It's going to be a little slower going, but clouded up on us. It's actually a little warmer. Everybody's taking some coats off. So got a couple adult rabbits. We're trying to get the kids some rabbits here. So we had one little quick rabbit that didn't get done, but we're hoping to get the kids another shot here soon.
Rabbit! It's heading right to it.
Well, it looked like he was trying to sneak out the back, and my daughter took a shot at him and missed, and looks like I got him.
We just can't get the camera in the right spot, can we?
Right. They're nice looking rabbits.
Hunting can be pretty unpredictable, and despite seeing plenty of rabbits today, we're having a tough time putting one in front of one of our youth hunters. But thankfully, that's not what today was all about.
Well, even though we didn't get a lot of the kids having activity with the rabbits, we were out here and they put a lot of miles on. They did a lot of brush kicking. They got to see a couple rabbits. We did get some shooting, but it was basically happened to be where the adults were today. But it was really helpful, I think, to get these kids out. None of them had ever been rabbit hunting before, and this was their first experience. Those of us that are fortunate enough to have the ability to bring kids out and have some land for them to enjoy, it's really, I think, a responsibility we have to try to share this with young kids. We've had the opportunity to bring adults out, but there's just something about passing on this heritage to the children. These kids are not family, but they're friends, and we all have the opportunity to do that. So I would encourage you to take a look around. There's always young kids in our lives that could use a little help, maybe don't have the opportunity and maybe don't have the land. So if you can help them out, it's great. It's a great experience for them, and honestly, it's a great experience for me too.
It's important that we as outdoorsmen continue to do whatever we can to help pass on the outdoor legacy to the next generation. Special thanks to Jeff for doing his part, and to the rest of the crew for letting me tag along on a fun day of rabbit hunting here in southern Michigan.
Well, thanks to everybody that made that hunt possible, and we definitely have had rabbit hunts where we get more rabbits on tape. Well, that's kind of a similar theme in this next story. Recently stopped in on Gun Lake for a little ice fishing tournament that was happening with about 40 or so people, and the fishing was really slow, but it gave me a chance to kind of walk around and talk to a lot of sportsmen.
The ice real clean, guys. I want a good name out here for everyone. If anybody's got any questions or anything like that, other than that, yeah, check-ins back here by 2. Go anywhere you want to on the lake.
Well, last week found me on Gun Lake, which is south of Grand Rapids and north of Kalamazoo. It is a well-used lake in the area, and I was looking forward to wandering the ice today and talking to some of the anglers.
Well, I started an ice fishing group on Facebook a couple months ago, and just trying to get some ice reports, and I wanted, to, instead of driving around checking all these lakes all the time, just figure, get the guys that are by those lakes to check them for you, and everybody can get on the ice a little sooner and a little safer. And just wanted to put a group of guys together, and it just took off. We're up to 950 members or something like that in the last couple days, and just a great group of people out here. And we're just having fun, just trying to we got all kinds of donations, things have been donated. We're doing food out here, just trying to have good fun on the ice before it's gone.
How's the fishing been so far?
Not the best, marking a lot of fish, but haven't got too many bites yet.
Okay, you got a perch on the ice though, I heard?
Not yet, I had a little one.
Oh, so, just a little guy, okay.
Yeah, I'm marking fish like crazy though, so we'll see what happens.
All right, and what's your name, where are you from?
Jake DeJardin from Kalamazoo.
Nice, have you fished Gun Lake before?
Never, first time.
All right, well good luck out there.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Slow bite, eh?
A little bit, yeah. I got this brand new Zircom, it just came out, and it's working pretty good.
What do you got there?
It's an old Zircom. If you're 10 feet, it works okay.
Yeah.
But when you get this deep, as you can see, there's all kinds of stuff. If you turn the frequency down, then you don't see anything. So.
How old is that thing?
Probably about 1932. I don't know. I don't know. My wife won't let me buy the Vexlar, so I gotta borrow stuff like this that's about 30 years old.
Well, it tells you how deep it is, right?
Tells you how deep it is, and if you're lucky, the jig.
Okay.
So, at least I'm not out here with nothing.
Gives you something to look at?
Gives me something to look at, yeah, exactly.
How's the fishing been today?
Not worth beans yet. Still early. Still early.
Now, do you fish this lake quite a bit?
I've never been on this lake. I'm new to this lake.
Okay.
I live towards Kalamazoo area, so we fish the lakes over there more.
All right.
But yeah, we hoping it's just good to get out, you know.
Boy, it's a nice day to be out.
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome. You couldn't ask for a better day. Just we catch some fish, you know. Not saying they got to be the biggest one, but you know, just something.
This group of anglers recently got together on Facebook, so many of these guys had never met. It was fun to listen in as they told each other some of their secrets.
North Lake, and I was catching a few on that.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. Actually, I went on eBay, and a guy was selling a bunch of unpainted ones. You know, $1 a piece, you know.
Yeah, you can't beat that price.
Better than $4.
Yeah. So we ordered a bunch of just plain tungsten ones with no paint on them. So that's what we've been getting all the fish on.
Now you guys use the rubber worms, little plastics I call them, about yay long.
No, we've just been using spikes, red and white.
Red and white. I usually put one red and one white on and just hammer those fish.
I got reds on now, but yeah, see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, if you can get them to start chasing, then usually they'll bite, but...
Yeah.
Well, the fishing was slow, and somehow I found my way back to the tent with warm burgers awaiting. I also got to talk to Levi about his custom hand-sanded ice rods.
I had a lot of different custom rod makers, you know, try to make me rods, and I just was never happy. They just weren't limber enough, and so I just had an idea. I said, well, I'm going to start doing it, and then I started one day, and, you know, this is what it's come to, and, you know, just something I always wanted to do, always interested in, and I couldn't find exactly what I wanted anybody else to make me, so wow, I did it myself. And
so they're just how do you pick which rods you're gonna use?
You know, it's come down to the point where I'm making them, and I'm gonna sell this one, and then I get it, and I don't know if I'm gonna sell this one, you know, and it's just I have an idea and I go with it that day, just whatever I'm feeling that day, and I just sit down at the table at night and then start going to town. And
so how do you get them to thin down?
I sand them, and you got to be real careful. You'll break them.
Okay.
I break a lot of them. You know, you got to be real careful. You got to go real slow. Attention to detail. You got to, you know, feel the stiff spots in them. You got to feel where, you know, where it's stiff and where it's lightened up, and you gotta just play with it, but if you do, you'll get it. Boy,
that is amazing. So those are perfect for smelt and pan fishing. And
you know, you catch an 8-inch bluegill on a rod like this, and it feels like it's a 10-pound walleye. It's a fight to the finish, and you know, you can catch any fish, you can catch big fish on them. You just got to take your time and take it easy, but if you do, very rarely do you pop a hook.
Wow. Well, between the 40 folks or so on the ice, only 3 or 4 fish were caught. Slow was an understatement for the 3-hour ice tournament.
We have a new third place.
What do we got?
Oh, 5 3/8.
Most everybody gathered back at the tent, warmed up, had some good eats, and got some door prizes. The cash was handed out, and even though the fishing was slow, guys did have a good time. The sun was up, the wind was down. Overall, the event was a success. And hey, the fishing, well, it can only get better for next year's event. In this next story, we're going to stop in with our friends at MUCC, the Michigan United Conservation Clubs, learn a little bit more about what that organization really does and how you as a sportsman can have a big impact on the natural resources management here in our state.
We are a member-driven organization, and what that means is basically that the decisions and the things that we try to pursue here in Lansing and across the state are not made, you know, by us here in Lansing or in our back rooms or any kind of thing like that. It is truly a member-driven process, and MUCC is a member-driven organization. You've got to be a member, though, to get involved. Getting involved means policy resolutions, and so those are just ideas that are brought forward to our members, from our members, about what kinds of things we should pursue to change the face of conservation here in Michigan. And when that really starts in process then is in February, when we have regional meetings across the state. So the first and third weekends in February, are the time when people get together in the UP, the Northern Lower, Southwest, and Southeast Michigan across the state, and bring forward these ideas in the first step of the process. At our regional meetings, those are where clubs and members from that area come together to look at the issues and see what's brought forward, talk about them, debate them, amend them perhaps, and then ultimately pass them on to our annual convention, which happens every year in June, where delegates from across the state of Michigan representing MUCC affiliate clubs and individual members now for the first time come together to vote on these resolutions. So there's a great example here in Michigan of how this all happens. Jim Price, who is now our Region 4 Vice President in Southeast Michigan, and he's a member of Tri-County Sportsman's Club, had an issue. He saw that poaching deer, and especially trophy poaching, so not just taking any buck out of season, but looking for those big bucks to maybe sell on the black market, it was becoming a big problem. And he heard from COs that this was an issue. He heard from his members and other hunters that this was an issue, and he wanted to do something about it. So he actually looked around to what was happening in other states to address poaching, and he saw a model over in Ohio where they actually take the Boone and Crockett score, put it into some kind of mathematical formula, and come out with the amount of money restitution that a poacher would have to pay for taking an animal from the citizens of Michigan. And he wanted to see this happen here in Michigan. So what he do? He wrote a resolution. He brought it to a Region 4 meeting. This was probably back in about 2010. So these things can take time. Certainly just having support doesn't mean that it happens overnight. But he brought it forward, he worked it through the process, it became our policy at the annual convention, and then he worked it. He worked with legislators, MUCC, our staff worked with legislators to get a bill introduced. Jim saw this through the entire process. He testified in committee, he brought this to the Natural Resources Commission, he talked to other members, he talked to members of the media to help us bring a face to this issue. So it wasn't just MUCC bringing it forward, it was our member, someone who's very passionate about the resource and really wanted to make change in this way. Ultimately, what came out is a very good process, and what we have now here in Michigan is a much more aggressive fine for poaching, and it's based on the number of points we have on a deer. So simply taking a doe is still the same fine, $1,000. Taking a buck now is $2,000, and then depending on the number of points, it goes up exponentially from there. And so this, in 2014, is the first time those laws have now been enacted, and we've seen our first poacher actually get busted under this new law.
Well, there are a lot of good ice fishing tournaments around the state of Michigan this time of year. There was a brand new one that ran the entire month of February with our friends at Frank's Great Outdoors. A few weeks back on the show, you may remember Jenny Olson hitting the frozen water of Saginaw Bay with good friend Andy Gorski. Well, Andy has grown up fishing the bay, and this past month, actually the entire month of February, our friends at Frank's Great Outdoors were having a walleye tournament. Their Frozen Frenzy tournament lasted the entire month of February, and so last week we gathered in Linwood to pass out the prizes, have a nice dinner, and hear some fish stories. All the proceeds go to some great causes in the community, and the top fish gets $5,000 and they pay down 15 spots. I was in town and ran a little video at the dinner.
So you tell me you caught it on the lure that you got with this entry feed, right?
That is correct. I did catch it on that. And the first one I caught on that too.
I can believe that because most guys who crump tell the truth.
Yes, we do.
Most of them.
And I am one of them.
I like that, I like that. Good job, Terry. Thank you. All right, son. I'm clean with it. I want to know it.
I was Bay Neck County line. Just a little bit south.
I ain't buying that. I ain't buying that.
Orange jig head.
There is no public access to Bay Neck County line.
No, it's kind of out of your driveway.
I don't. I get right.
You still ain't buying it?
It's always fun to hear folks try to tell their stories around other fishermen who fish the same water. It was a great night, and taking the top prize was Matt Nagel.
Where you go out of, son?
Usually Erickson Road or Linwood Road.
Let me guess, the black hole?
What's that?
The black hole? Is that where you fishing?
Usually.
Come on. How deep?
22 feet is where I caught. 22 feet is where I caught this one.
That's what he told
What's
me.
the hot lure? I was using a number 7 Fire Target Glow jig and wrap.
Jig and wrap? Yeah. Oh. The only thing I catch with a jig and wrap is the bottom of the ice hole. I cannot.
Well, the dinner was a lot of fun, and if you fish the bay at all during the winter months, you may want to look into this tournament next year. It's a great help to the community and a chance to win big money for the biggest fish. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. As always, if you missed part of this week's show or last week's show, want to see what we're going to be up to, you can always check us out online at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com. And if you do the Facebook thing, we're on there pretty much every day letting you know what's going on as we're traveling this great state. Lots of good stuff coming over the next few weeks here on Michigan Out of Doors. And so make sure you join us right here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth. Michigan made for over 18 years, Lucky Buck on the web at luckybuck.com. By Propane, Clean American Energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Showspan, producing consumer shows that include the Ultimate Sports Show in Grand Rapids. Over 350 exhibitors, outdoor gear, boats, seminars, Lake Ultimate, and Big Buck Night. The Ultimate Sports Show at the DeVos Place in Grand Rapids. Closed captioning is provided by the Michigan Propane Gas Association, Clean American Energy. Propane realtors promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow